Hello students. So in this lecture we are going to discuss a topic principal component analysis, that is a dimensionality reduction technique. We shall discuss the following topics: introduction, mathematical background, PCA and applications. Let us consider that there are 1000 students in 20 classrooms of the department, and we want to call a meeting to discuss about the performance of the students and to build some model or inferences. Now the question is, shall we call all the 1000 students or shall we call only a set of representative students? So of course our answer is to call only a set of representative students which represent all the population of the students in the classes, so that our message can be conveyed, or whatever inferences we want to get, we can get to. Similarly, say there are thousands of variables or dimensions in a data set. So instead of considering all the thousands of variables or dimensions, we shall consider only a set of, let us say, p number of representative variables, that is also called principal components in PCA. That is enough to build the model. But now we shall see how to extract a set of p of representative variables. So the principal component is a statistical procedure that uses an orthogonal transformation of correlated variables into a set of linearly uncorrelated variables, that is called principal component. Let us try to understand in other way. You have a set, let us say you have a variable, a vector v. Can we decompose it into two orthogonal vector? Say it is orthogonal vector 1 and 2. This is x and this is y. Can we decompose? Yes. If the angle between two is theta, so a component of v, that is v cos theta, is contributed toward x, and v sin theta is contributed toward y. Similarly, if there are a set of vectors v1, v2, dot dot vn, as the angle between two not equal to 90 degree, it means they are correlated, means they are sharing the redundant data, because the v2 cos theta may be contributed toward v1. So all these vectors using PCA we want to transform into a set of orthogonal vectors, one or more, which are orthogonal to each other, means these vectors do not capture the redundant data, they capture independent data. How? Because the angle is 90, so y cos 90 is 0. So y contributing toward x 0. Similarly, x contributing toward y 0. So as we are capturing independent data, this way a minimum number of vectors may be enough to capture whole data. In this case, although we have n number of vectors, but most of them they are correlated and that are redundant. So this way we are trying to avoid the redundancies shared among the vectors. So that is the all about point 1. Another way you can understand the PCA in terms of viewpoint, how we look the data. So if we change the viewpoint of data set of the object, we can capture more number of information even from the lower dimension. For example, this is a rectangle, this is a square, this somewhat looks like cuboid, and this is a cuboid. In fact, the real object in all the diagrams are cuboid only. But here, as our viewpoint is not much informative, that's why we are not able to capture more information in order to say that the object is cuboid. In this case, we are able to say that it is a cuboid because we are looking from the viewpoint which captures maximum information. Now here, what do you mean by maximum information? Let me ask, what is the maximum length of vector can be accommodated inside this object? So that would be, if you join the two opposite diagonal, the farthest diagonal, so this may be the longest line or longest vector accommodated inside. So the vector which captures the maximum variance or maximum spread, that is called principal component 1. Now another question is, what is the next maximum length vector accommodated in the object which are perpendicular to PC1 and captures maximum information? So that may be the vector joining the next another two diagonally opposite point. This is perpendicular to the first principal component and it captures the maximum variance in the remaining information. So that is why it is called principal component 2. Now as in this diagram, we are able to see the principal component 1 and principal component 2 both are visible. That's why we are capturing maximum information, and even the 3D object is transformed into 2D. We are able to say what is this. But in this case, neither first principal component nor second principal component we are able to see. That is why we are not getting sufficient information to say what is the object is. So the principal component can be viewed like this. Okay. So the first principal component captures the largest possible variance. Now how to find out the principal components mathematically? So for that we shall see in the example, we shall compute eigenvalues and eigenvectors of the covariance matrix, and we shall try to do that. These two terminologies, as of now we are differing the discussion. Before going ahead to discuss the PCA, just try to recall the formula of variance and covariance. Okay. Already we have discussed these points in previous classes. Now if two variables x and y are independent or uncorrelated, the covariance would be 0. Like covariance of xy, if they are orthogonal, it would be 0. On the other hand, if two vectors having some smaller angles, it will have covariance. So lesser the angle between two, more the collinearity, more the covariance. Let us say you have a matrix X with two columns. The first column you can name is X and second column Y. Okay. So if you compute the covariance matrix, you will get covariance X comma X, covariance X comma Y, covariance Y comma Y. So covariance X comma X also called variance in X. So the diagonal elements are variance in the variable and off diagonal are covariance in the pair of the variable. Okay. So if the diagonal values are high, it means that particular dimension is very important or interesting. On the other hand, if off diagonal variable the value is high, it means this pair of variable capturing much of the redundant data. They are redundant. Okay. So that knowledge you should keep while doing the computations. Okay. Second thing, while computing the covariance matrix, fine, that we shall discuss in coming example. Now let us try to compute eigenvalues and eigenvectors given a matrix, square matrix. So as per the definition of eigenvector, if you multiply the eigenvector with a particular matrix, the eigenvector will be scaled by a scalar quantity. Only the magnitude of vector will change, not the direction. In that case, that particular vector is called eigenvector of the matrix A. Simplify it. So take this quantity left side. So you will get A minus lambda identity matrix into V. Recalling the solving the homogeneous equation using matrix, in order to get the non-trivial solution, the determinant A minus lambda I should be 0. Now let us compute this determinant here. So A minus lambda into identity matrix. So here identity matrix you may consider as 1 0 0 1. If you multiply with lambda, it will become lambda 0 0 lambda. So all non-zero will be multiplied with 1. Further you simplify it and compute the determinant, you will get a quadratic equation like this. Solving the quadratic equation, you will get two values of the lambda, lambda 1 and lambda 2. So this lambda 1 and lambda 2 are called eigenvalues. Now we have to find out eigenvector corresponding to each eigenvalue. So now you substitute value of lambda in this equation, let us say equation 1. So if you put minus 1 here, then you will get minus of minus 1 1, 1, minus 2, and minus 3 and minus of minus 1 minus 2. So and multiplied by V. So this V you may consider as V1, V2. So first row multiplied by second row, first column, second row multiplied by first column. So you will get b1 plus b2 minus 2b1 minus 2b2 is equal to 0. If you take minus 2 out from here, so both row are same. So you will get only b1 plus b2 is equal to 0. So let v1 is equal to some constant k. So v2 would be minus k, because v1 plus v2 is 0. So if v1 is k, v2 will be minus k. Now you put here k minus k. Take k out, get 1 minus 1. So the first eigenvector here v1 is equal to some constant k1, 1 minus 1. Similarly, if you substitute value of lambda 2 here and solve it in the same way, you will get another vector, eigenvector 2, some constant 1 minus 2. Here v1 and v2 are not orthogonal, they are not perpendicular, because here the matrix A is not symmetric. It is not symmetric, because symmetric matrix means matrix A is equal to A transpose, then it is symmetric. So as it is not symmetric, that is why two vectors are not orthogonal, otherwise these two eigenvectors could be orthogonal. Now let us see some of the properties of eigenvectors. So eigenvectors can be found only for square matrix, but not always. If the square matrix is symmetric, then it will have exactly n eigenvectors, and all the eigenvectors are orthogonal. Any vector may be eigenvector to the identity matrix. So once again, why to use PCA or SVD, that is singular value decomposition. So if the matrix is given square and symmetric, you can apply PCA, or you can apply SVD, both are equivalent in this regard. So this PCA also used for data compression and feature selection, and of course for dimensionality reduction. Okay. So this is to use a set of vector x with n dimension into a different space, a fewer number of space, that is p dimension, where these p number of dimensions are orthonormal vectors. That is also called principal components. One example of dimensionality reduction is watching movie. Although the real objects are 3D, but most of the movies are 2D only. But still we enjoy and do not feel like we are not able to see the real objects. Okay. Now let us solve an example step by step computing the PCA. So here we have one example of softwares. The first dimension is KLOC, that is lines of code, 5,000 lines of code, 8,000 lines of code. Second dimension X2 is cyclomatic complexity of the software, and last column is number of defects present in the software. But here we are interested only in the input X, that is 2 columns. So dimension of the matrix X is 9 by 2 here, 9 rows, 2 columns. This blue color text are Python code. So we have first column x1, second column x2. This you make like matrix. Step 2, you calculate the shape of the x, that is 9 by 2. Now you compute the mean of each column, and subtract the mean in each column. For example, the mean of the first column is, let us say, 6. So we have to subtract 6 in every element, minus 6 and so on. Similarly, mean of this, let us say, 70. So we have to subtract 70 in every value. So that is the way it is called mean centered data. Once it is mean centered, then you compute covariance matrix by doing x transpose x divided by n minus 1. The dimension of x is 9 by 2 and dimension of x transpose 2 by 9. So if you multiply, you will get 2 by 2 matrix. 2 by 2. Here you can see the variance in x is small, but variance in y is so huge. Means variance in y means y dimension is more important and interesting. Second thing, the x and y are correlated to some extent because the covariance between two is also significant. Means there is scope to reduce the dimensions because uh, we have to remove the redundancies. Coming to step 3, here it is step 3 only. Having the covariance matrix, now compute eigenvectors and eigenvalues. Using a Python libraries, here we have used from SciPy linear algebra as LA. So the LA dot eigen EIGH covariance matrix. So you will get eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Now you sort the eigenvalues in decreasing order, non-increasing order. Similarly, you sort the eigenvectors also. Now, next step, that is step 4, compute the principal components, PC. So principal component is equal to x multiplied by eigenvectors. That is NP dot product x and eigenvectors. Now you will get two eigenvectors PC1 and PC2. If you plot the two dimension x1 and x2, you will get plot like that. So you have sufficient variance in x1 direction and you have huge amount of spread or variance in x2, like up to 80 it goes. Now after uh, computing the principal components, if you plot, so let us say here the variance with respect to x is 7 point something, variance with respect to x1 7 point something and variance with respect to x2 is how much? Okay, 734. Okay, so in this direction you have 7 point something, in this direction you have 734. Okay. Now if you find out PC1 and PC2, PC1 and PC2, you will find that, let us say, total variance are 735 plus 5, total 742. Now here PC1 and PC2, PC2 may capture the variance PC1 almost you know 95% of variance. And PC2, that is perpendicular to this is PC1, PC2, only captures 5% of variance. Okay, so note it as exercise. You have to find out covariance of PC and check how the variance are distributed. So here you can see that maximum variance captured by PC1 only, PC2 having very small. So using PC1 only, you can represent whole data. Second thing, after having principal component, it is up to you that 0 to P. If the covariance matrix, here for example it is 2 by 2, but if covariance matrix are having n by n may be large number, let us say 1000. So in this case you have to decide what should be value of P. So instead of considering all the n number of principal component, you can consider only first 10 principal component. That is up to you, and that depends upon the problem also. So this is the way we computed eigenvalues, eigenvectors and principal components. Once you have the principal component, you can use that for further analysis or further building any model. Second, if you want to get the x back from principal component, so here you can see that principal component is original matrix multiplied by eigenvectors. So if you again multiply it with eigenvectors transpose. So eigenvectors are orthogonal and symmetric. So if you do eigenvectors multiplied by eigenvector transpose, you will get identity matrix. So you will be left with X. So you will get original data back. Okay. So as an exercise, you can do this as homework. There are many applications like dimensionality reduction, image compression, feature selection, page ranking. Okay, in document analysis also it is used. This is again there are some exercise. Okay, that you have to do. Okay. Thank you.